Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, welcome to the Bhagavad Gita, Sarartha Varshini Tika, and the sub commentary to the Sarartha Varshini, which is the Rasika Ranjana Tika, which is by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So, we are almost in the last section of the 13th chapter. In this Jnana section, we saw Arjuna's 6 questions in first verse, Krishna defining Kshetra and Kshetragya, and then what is Jnana, and then the composition of the Kshetra, he speaks what are the Yadrik qualities in the Kshetra, and Vikar also he speaks based on what the Shibir Bahuda Gitam, and then based on Brahma Sutras, he also quotes authorities. And the composition of the Kshetra is explained in sixth verse. Seventh verse explains the Vikars and the qualities in the Kshetra. Then, what is the means of attaining that Jnana by which we can understand the Kshetra and the Kshetragya, the analysis between matter and spirit in one sense. And then, what is Gya? What by this Jnana, what one should understand Gya? The object of knowledge is Paramatma, because the Paramatma ultimately reveals one that he is the jiva, you know. So Gaya was defined, and then Prakriti and Purush is what in the last two classes we saw. We went a little slow so that we can clearly understand this topic. So after all this, now the last section we will see Prakriti and Purusha. What is the result of knowing this knowledge, Krishna will speak, and then the Jnana section, the Jnana Chakshu, how Krishna integrates all this into form of a vision. We will see that. So we have seen how Prakriti and Purusha, are Anadi, but you should also know that the Vikars which happen, they are coming from Prakriti. And then it is the Purusha, Karya Karan Kartatve, becomes the Hetu Prakriti Rutete, the body, senses, and the sensitas. And the Purusha becomes the cause because he has a desire to enjoy. Sukha Dukkana, Bhoktrutva. Both Sukha and Dukkha are there because in the material world, it is not only happiness or only distress. Combination of two is there. That's why Purusha Sukha Dukhanam is mentioned. And then this Purusha, situated in Prakriti, with a desire to enjoy the gunas of Prakriti, takes on bodies which are Sad, Devata bodies, or Sad, hellish bodies. And that's how he repeats in the cycle of birth and death. So we discussed the entire flow, which is, the Bij Vakya 13.22 and 21, we can say both together. How it is nourished by the three modes, and the entire tree is different. The modes are discussed in 14th chapter, the entire tree in 15th chapter, the upper portion of the tree and the lower portion in 16th chapters, divine and demonic. The in between is chapter 17. 18th is a summary of everything summarized, including Krishna, while summarizing Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga. Also, whatever he has taught in this section, he, analyzes that based on the modes also. Okay. So we have seen this now, and Krishna, speaks about the Paramatma to distinguish how it is different from the Jiva. So now we'll come to this last two verses. Now, what is the result of knowing this knowledge? य एवं वेत्ति पुरुषं प्रकृतिं च गुणैः सह सर्वथा वर्तमानोऽपि न स भूयोऽभिजायते. He who knows the Paramatma, yah evam vetti purusham, Prakriti and the Jiva, Prakritim Chaiva. So, the word here, cha, let me take my pen. Okay. The word cha, Prakriti is Prakriti. The cha indicates Jiva, who is Purusha. So, He who knows ya enam vetti purusham. So here the Purusha refers to what Krishna spoke in 13.23. Hmm? Uttama, no, what is it? What is that verse? Upadrushtacha, Anumantacha, Bharta, Bhokta, Maheshwara, Paramatme iti cha yukta, Deheshmin, Purusha, para. So that Purusha is referring to Paramatma. But Prakriti, Cha is here, also the Purusha, but he is the conditioned Jiva who actually takes the role of Purusha. Prabhupada, very sarcastically mentions, it's like the female trying to enjoy the female. Although the Jiva is Prakriti, as Krishna has established in 7.5, he's superior energy of the Lord. That means he's conscious. Whereas matter is also Prakriti, but it is inert. That's the difference. So it's like the female trying to enjoy the female. It's completely an incompatible situation. So it is only the Purusha, the real enjoyer is Bhagavan, and he enjoys his Shaktis. The Prakriti is one of his Shaktis. So, but the living entity wants to take the role of the Lord, and that's why he's put in this Prakriti along with the Gunas. So, one who knows Paramatma, Prakriti, and Jiva, along with the Gunas, does not take birth again. Na sa bhuyo abhijayate, though encountering all sorts of circumstances. Sarvata vartamanopi. Vishwanath Chandra Thakur. The result of this knowledge is stated in this verse. So, what is the result? Is stated in this verse. He who knows Paramatma, Purusham, Prakriti, and Maya Shakti, along with its qualities, and the Jiva, indicated only by the word Cha, does not take birth again, even though in this life he may be situated in all sorts of unfavorable circumstances, Sarvata Vartamanopi, such as being overcome by sleep and having uncontrolled mind or other such problems. So this, sorry, why it's jumping, I don't know. This we should not, take as a license that, we can sleep in our japa, you know, you know, and we don't try to engage the mind and allow the mind to wander. So this is speaking of somebody who is, you know, who has realized knowledge, who knows what is Kshetra, the Kshetragyayo, Gayo, something like this it is, I don't know. It is, dual, the two Kshetragyas, and Prakriti, and how the Jiva is caught in the Prakriti. The Purusha is the Jiva here. So he is all having this realized knowledge, but due to old age and due to suffering of the body, he might be going through this, but still, we should understand that he will not take birth again. That's what is the point. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he who understands the truth concerning the transcendental person and the qualities of material nature, even though in this material world never takes birth again, staying in any position by my kripa, he will attain my supreme destination. So ultimately, uh, by the kripa of the Lord, although he is in some circumstances, he will not be affected. Okay, now how we can understand this knowledge? The different processes are being described. ध्यानेनात्मनि पश्यन्ति केचिदात्मानमात्मना अन्ये सांख्येन योगेन कर्मयोगेन चापरे. Now Vishwanath Chakra Thakur gives a little interesting analysis. This entire thing Srila Prabhupada takes as Ashtanga Yoga, and Anya Sankhya is Jnana Yoga, we know, and this is Nishkama Karma Yoga. And Prabhupada devotes this entire verse that entire verse as Bhakti Yoga. even though they are ignorant, but just by hearing, they will cross over the cycle of birth and as the glory of Bhakti Yoga. But Vishwanath Chakra Thakur gives a little different understanding because he analyzes based on the Jnana section. So please try to understand Vishwanath Chakra Thakur's analysis of this verse and the next verse. Some see Kechit Paramatma. So Atmani Pashyanti, he says, some see Paramatma. Through meditation in Bhakti Yoga, he says, Atmana Dhyanena. So this is how he translates. Others practice Jnana or Ashtanga Yoga. Anya Sankena Yogena. So this Sankena is taken as by Vishwanath Chakra Thakur as, Jnana Yoga, and Yogena is taken as Ashtanga Yoga. Whereas you can take this together, meaning also Jnana Yoga. You can take them separate. That's how that flexibility is there, you know. So that's how Vishwanath Chakra Thakur does here. This is Srila Prabhupada analysis of this verse. We can take both. It doesn't matter from which angle you see. And others practice Nishkam Karma Yoga. Karma Yogena Chapare. So Karma Yogena, you can see this is a conjunct word. It's conjunct here. But usually in the verses, yeah, it comes. Yeah. Alternative methods are mentioned in two verses. So in two verses, how we can realize. Uh, so the alternate verses are mentioned. Now, 1 minute. We yeah. य एनं वेत्ति पुरुषं प्रकृति सर्वतावन् न स भूयो अभिजायते. Okay. Okay. Some devotees, now Prabhupada, Vishwanath Thakur says, some devotees by contemplation of the Lord, dhyanena, in the mind, Atmani, without help of any other process, spontaneously, Atmana, not by any other process except bhakti, see the Paramatma. So it is speaking about the process of bhakti and not any other process. They see the Paramatma. Any case histories, from the Bhagavatam where they, by the process of bhakti, they saw the Paramatma? Anyone knows? Raise your hands. Yes, Sri Lalita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, at the moment, the small when he goes into the forest, he closes his eyes and he sees the Lord, and then the Lord disappears. After
Yes,
giving
so that
that one
that is the
also.
Lord, Lord in the form Narad Muni in previous life.
Yeah. So that he gets hankered
Yes.
more for getting the.
Yes, yes. So there is a very interesting pastime, Jadurani Devidasi Mataji. She was painting all Prabhupada pictures in the initial days. And Prabhupada had told to paint the picture of the Paramatma. And he gave some whole description and gave all the details. And she was painting and she had some doubts. So she came back to Prabhupada and she asked some finer details about the Paramatma. And Prabhupada just closed his eyes and as though he's directly seeing. And then as though no, he was seeing directly. Sorry for that. Please forgive me. And then he gave the finer details again. So, by contemplation, also devotees in the mind, without help of any other processes, spontaneously, not by any other process except bhakti, see the Paramatma. So, this is one. This is understood from the later verse, Bhaktyamam Abhijanati, only by devotion, I am known. But actually, Vishwanath Chakra Thakur, uh, here, Mam, he refers to that by Brahman, By Mam means he will understand me as Brahman because the bhakti which is present in the Jnana process is secondary. It is Gauna. So only by bhakti also one can understand Brahman. only by bhakti one can understand Paramatma. I had repeated this concept when I was discussing the 8th chapter, if you remember. Only by bhakti one can understand Bhagavan. But there in the Gyan and Ashtanga, the bhakti is secondary. So I'm still, this is my, you can say, speculation. So this is my understanding of the second statement because, it's mentioned exclusive bhakti. Others, Anya, Gyanis. Now, Vishnu Thakur speaks by distinguishing from the soul and body, Sankhya, and others, Apare, yogis by Ashtanga Yoga, Yogena. So, Apareya, Vishnu Thakur, Yechidananda, Anya Sankhya Yogena, Karma Yogena, Chapare. So, Apare, if he uses Sankhya Yogena Chapare and Karma Yogena Chapare. For both he uses this. That's what he does. And others. So you can see Chapare by Nishkama Karma Yoga, see Paramatma. So you can see even the Karma Yogi, there is meditation, deeply. We have seen this in the 5th chapter, Vidya Vinay Sampanne Brahmani Gavi Hastini Suniche Vaspakena Pandita Samadarshana. So there is a latent vision of the Paramatma there. So now, in this regard, Gyan Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, Nishkamarma are successive causes of each other and not direct causes of seeing Paramatma. So ultimately, from Karma Yoga, one has to go to Gyan Yoga and then Ashtanga Yoga like that. That's what is saying. This is because their nature is sattvic and thus the result can only be sattvic. But the nature of Paramatma is beyond the gunas. Moreover, it is said by the Lord. So, because these processes are in sattvic, so they can reveal things which are in sattva. They cannot reveal transcendence. So that is why the bhakti only reveals, Paramatma for the jnani or the yogi. Jnanam cha mahi sannyasa. The self-realized person who has cultivated scriptural knowledge up to the point of enlightenment and who is free from impersonal speculation, understanding the material universe to be simply illusion, should surrender unto me both that knowledge and the means by which he achieved it. So ultimately, I had explained this, if you remember, in Nishkama Karma Yoga, you know, the goal of Nishkama Karma Yoga is to attain Jnana. And when one comes to the process of Jnana, he takes up Jnana Yoga sadhana. And by this, he comes to the Jivan Mukta stage. Now, to attain liberation from here, I'm just drawing it here. How will he attain liberation? By what is the means by which he attains liberation? Who will answer? Let us see how well we have thoroughly understood. I have been repeating these concepts right from the 4th, 5th, 6th chapter, 7th chapter onwards. Middle 6, not much, but I have been repeating. So, how does he attain liberation? By which process he attains now? From Jivana Mukta to Videya Mukta, where he can give up the body and then, attain liberation. What is the which method, which sadhana he does? Who will answer? What is the process? Bir Krish Prabhuji. The answer is right in the slide, but let us see how we'll figure out.
Hare Krishna, bro. Good morning.
Yeah.
Bro, what is question, bro?
See, in Nishkama Karma Yoga, one does actions in order to attain Gyan. He becomes Jnana Nishta. Once he becomes Jnana Nishta or a Sthita Pragya, then he takes up to the Jnana Sadhana in order to attain liberation. Correct? He does the sadhana, right? And he becomes Jivan Mukta. Now, Jivan Mukta, in order to become liberated and attain liberation, what he has to give up and by what process he attains liberation is my question.
He has to give up jnana and he has to practice Salimba Bhakti.
Only he can give the limbs of Gyan. He has to give up Gyan. And the bhakti element which is in the Gyan, that he should not give up. And that bhakti itself, which is a secondary role there, by that bhakti, he attains what?
Liberation.
Brahman. Yes,
Brahman.
excellent.
Brahman.
So that is what is being mentioned. Jnanam cha mai sannyasat. A self-realized person who has cultivated scriptural knowledge up to the point of, yeah, I've read this. Bhaktya aham ekaya graya. Only by practicing unalloyed devotional service with full faith in me can one obtain me, the Supreme Personality of God. Thus, after giving up Gyan indicated in the first of the verses quoted, becoming free from Gyan, one sees Paramatma by bhakti alone. So I think, that's not the bhakti process in the, it is, the bhakti process, but it is a secondary process here. It's not directly referring to the bhakti as a secondary process only. Bhakti alone means, that he gives up all his primary processes of jnana and ashtanga. And by that bhakti only, he sees the Paramatma. So that's what the meaning is. By bhakti alone, indicated in the second verse. Bhaktya aham ekaya grahya. So this has a very broad meaning that, please try to understand again this verse, which is quoted. By Bhakti Mishra Gyan, there is only Bhakti by which one attains, the Gyan Yogi attains liberation. And in the Bhakti Mishra Yoga, the Bhakti element in that Ashtanga Yoga process by which he will attain liberation. And he realizes Brahman here. He realizes Paramatma. And in the Bhakti Yoga, this verse is applicable. Bhakta aham ekaya graya. By bhakti alone, one can understand Bhagavan and attain Vaikuntha or Golok. So Prabhupada takes the last meaning in all his discussion. But this is applicable to all the three. That's what, we can understand here. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, O Arjuna, in regard to spiritual attainment, the conditioned souls are divided into two divisions, those averse to be, Bahirmukh, and those inclined to me. Atheists, materialists, skeptics, and moralists are counted among those averse to me. So those who are averse are category. An inquisitive and faithful person, a karma yogi, and a devotee are the second type, and they are inclined towards me. So there is karma yogi and the bhakti yogi. Ultimately, the karma yogi, to attain the Lord, he has to take up the, give up karma yoga, take up jnana yoga or ashtanga yoga, and attain the Lord. Devotees are the best of all because they take shelter of Chit, the spiritual nature which is beyond matter, and they meditate on Paramatma within the self. The Sankhya yogis who search after Ishwar, the controller, are the next best. So among the best are devotees, then the Sankhya yogis. After deliberating on Prakriti, material nature will consist of 24 elements, they come to know that the 25th element, the Jiva, is a pure conscious entity. They gradually engage in Bhakti Yoga to Bhagavan, the 26th element, that is Super Soul. The Karma Yogis are inferior to them. By the process of Nishkam Karma Yoga, selflessly performing their prescribed duty and offering the results to Bhagavan, they attain the facility to deliberate on worship and worship Him. They worship the Paramatma in the heart. Okay, so now let's see this last verse. Anne to evam ajananta. Prabhupada gives an elaborate commentary based on how this verse is glorifying Bhakti Yoga. But Vishnu Chakra Thakur and Bhaktivinoda Thakur keep this very simple. Anne, others who perform worship, pasate, though not knowing. Okay, I'll read the verse. Anne tva evam ajananta shrutvanebhya upasate tepi chati tarantyeva mrutyum shruti parayana. Others, Anne, who worship, upasate, who perform worship, though not knowing, tu evam ajananta. So they are not knowing. So we have seen the difference between ajananta, jananta, and avajananta. That is a Mayavadi's avajananti ma muda is mentioned. But hearing from others, annebhya shrutva, also surpass death. Te apita cha atitaranti eva being intent on hearing Shruti Parayana because they are Shruti Parayana. So this Prabhupada takes as a complete hint of the Bhakti Yoga process and he glorifies the Bhakti Yoga process. Others who worship Paramatma hearing talks from various sources also surpass death. One line commentary, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. In comparison to them, the low class people who are faithful and inquisitive collect knowledge from here and there, and in the association of pure devotion and by a gradual deliberation on spiritual topics, they later also attain bhakti. So this is direct glorification of the bhakti process. So that completes the fifth section. Now we are going to go to the last section, 27 to 35. This is a very interesting section. So before I begin this section, any questions you have up till now, what we have discussed? The battery is still there. Hopefully, it will come for another half an hour. Okay. Yes, Bir Krishnaji, what's your question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dhanapram.
Yes,
Prabhu, in verse 24, here evam vetti purusham prakritim cha gudasya. Here,
correct.
Prabhu, he who knows the Paramatma, Prakriti and the Jiva. So, Prabhu, here it is indicating to yogi. I mean, because he knows the Paramatma, Prakriti and the Jiva.
When you mention yogi means what? What are you trying to say?
Yogi means, I mean, Bhakti Mr. Yogi, definitely.
You mean the Ashtanga yogi?
Yeah, yes.
No, it is not referring to him. It is referring to uh, the Gyan yogi. See, we have a misconception that it is only the Ashtanga yogis who meditate on the Paramatma. But I had clarified this point. Even in the process of Gyan, there is contemplation on the Paramatma. But there is more of intellectual contemplation. Are you understanding this point? So Krishna, they also see Pashanti. Vidya Vinay Sampanne Brahmani Gavyasani. There is a mention of, seeing the Paramatma. Pandita Saman, that Paramatma is there in everyone's heart. And, it was mentioned Tat Buddhas, Tat Atmanas, Tan Nishta, Tat Parayana. You know, they meditate on the Paramatma with their intelligence, like that. So there is meditation also as a process, but there's predominance of, uh, in Ashtanga, there is tapasya and yoga, and in Gyan, there is more of Gyan and Vairagya. So like that, there are subtle differences. That's why sometimes there are only three processes mentioned: karma, jnana, and bhakti. So within Gyan, Ashtanga is included. Gyan, it's just an offshoot of Gyan Yoga. Are you understanding? The Ashtanga Yoga process is just an offshoot of Gyan Yoga.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay? Yeah.
Right.
Tukaram Mishkin Prabhuji. My laptop battery has gone down. Let us see how long it will come. Till then, we will continue the discussion. Yes. Yes.
Now, Prabhuji, Dandot Pranam. Here, we are every time we are referring to Paramatma.
Mhm.
Is it should we not, equally consider it as Bhagwan, or still we are in?
See, within the flow of the Bhagavad Gita, we are trying to study and understand.
Yeah.
And, that is why we have to, go into the subtleties of the Gita and the logical. If you see, everything is bhakti, but there are different gradations of bhakti. We saw that, right? Not
Okay.
everything is, there is
Should
karma mishra bhakti, jnana mishra bhakti, yoga mishra bhakti, and then there are so many other divisions we saw.
yes.
Similarly, in the jnana section, these verses are referring to the Paramatma. Yes?
Right. Right, Prabhu.
So you
Right.
see how Prabhupada also translates. See, Prabhupada, that's why we have to carefully study Prabhupada's commentaries.
Right,
When
Prabhu.
we study Prabhupada's commentaries very carefully, we will come to know the differences. You see now. Yaha evam vetti purusham. Purusham here proper takes based on, I have mentioned 13.13. There he takes it as Atma. Correct?
Okay.
So he refers to as Atma only here. One. Okay. Prakriti cha gune cha sarvata vartamanospi sa bhuyo abhijat. One who understands this philosophy concerning material nature, the living idea, and interactions will sure to attain liberation. So you see, but the bhakti yogis don't attain liberation. They attain the Lord's abode. No? So because this is a jnana section.
Right.
So Prabhupada is speaking very clearly here. Clear understanding of material super soul, industrial. See here, super soul also Prabhupada includes. And the interrelation becomes eligible for to become liberated.
Hmm.
The spiritual atmosphere means Brahman, Brahma Jyoti.
Okay.
So you see, and then Prabhupada gives a deeper understanding also, so that, and here we can see, as I had mentioned, again there are those who are not conscious but who worship the Supreme Person by hearing from others. Because of that, they also transcend. So Prabhupada, speaks about the Bhakti Yoga process here directly. Okay.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you.
Any other questions anyone else has? %8 is remaining, and it is showing another 1 hour, but I don't think so. Let us see. Even if it comes for half an hour. Okay, so now let's go to this next section. This is a very simple section. Now, the Jnana Chakshu. So Krishna integrates all these terms, what he has spoken, all these, and he gives a vision in the form of the Jnana Chakshu, the vision of knowledge. Now, this is a summary. Everything is a combination of matter and spirit. See everything material equally, seeing everything materially equally to attain liberation. And now, 30th will speak about see that spirit is non-doer. And 31, see that all material variety originates in spiritual similarity. 32 and 33, see that the soul always remains transcendental and doesn't get entangled and doesn't act. Now this, is what Prabhupada speaks that there as the soul, but Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he takes it here as Paramatma again. And how the Paramatma doesn't get entangled, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, but Prabhupada takes it as soul. How the soul does not act, here also Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur takes as Paramatma. That's the only difference. So instead of Paramatma, Atma, it should be Paramatma here. That's it. And gaining this Gyan Chakshu will grant liberation. So that's the section. Let's go. This is very simple. Please try to understand this. Yavat sanjayate kinchit sattvam sthavar jangamam kshetra kshetragya samyogat tad vidhi paratarshava. Know that vidhi, all entities. Vidhi, again vidhi, the word has come. Whether moving or non-moving, high or low, yavat kinchit sattvam stavaram jangamam. In whatever state of existence there are, moving on, appear sanjayate from the combination of matter and jiva. Kshetra kshetragya samyogat. So this is, every living entity is a combination of matter and spirit. First thing, there's always we should see, we only see matter, but there is always a combination of matter and spirit everywhere. That's what is the vision first. From this verse till then, the Lord expands on the meaning of what he has already spoken. Knowing that all living entities, sattvam, existence, whether high or low, moving, non-moving, are born from the combination of field and the knower of field. That is Kshetra Kshetragayo Samyogat. Okay. Samam Sarveshu Bhuteshu Tishtantam Parameshwaram Vinashyatsu Avinashyattam Yah Pashyati Sa Pashyati. He who sees Yah Pashyati, the indestructible Paramatma. So you can see now Parameshwara, can refer to either the Jiva or Paramatma. So Vishwanath Thakur takes it as Paramatma. Prabhupada takes it as Jiva. So that's why the explanations will little vary. Because that's how you can break and join the word, and it can, different meanings can come out. So one who sees that there is the indestructible Paramatma situated equally, samantishtantam, in all destructible bodies, sarveshu vinatsu bhuteshu, actually sees. So one who can see that there is this Paramatma situated in all beings, he is actually seeing. Now let's see what Prabhupada also takes it as Paramatma only. Okay. One who sees accompanying the individual soul. Yeah. In all bodies. One who understands that neither the soul nor the super soul within the destructible body is ever destroyed, actually. So that's how Prabhupada explains. But here only Vishwanath Thakur takes as a Paramatma only. So that's the difference only. One should therefore know Paramatma. He who sees Paramatma situated in the destructible bodies, Vinatsetsu, of all beings, actually sees. He is the actual Jnani. Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Even though situated equally within all living entities, Paramatma is not affected by the temporary nature of this world. He who understands that Paramatma in this way understands everything correctly. Text 29. Samam pashyan hi sarvatra samavatishtatam ishwaram na hinatsya atmanatmanam tato yati param gatim. So one who sees like that, as he mentioned in the two verses with equal vision, what happens to him? What is his destination is mentioned in this verse. He who sees Pashan, Paramatma, Ishwaram, situated everyone, everywhere equally, Sarvatra Samam, Samavitishtitam, does not degrade, na hinatsi, the soul by the deviating mind, Atmana, Atmanam, and attains the supreme goal. Tato yati param gatim. Okay, let's see how Prabhupada has translated this. Here also Prabhupada takes it as well. This is correct. Same explanations. Prabhupada there only includes both the soul and the super soul. He who sees me situated everywhere does not make the soul fall down hinatsi by the mind atmana, which wanders on the wrong path. So that is why, seeing, this is he is in an elevated body, superior body, he is in an inferior body, this kind of discrimination, when we make, actually we degrade our mind and lower our consciousness. But we should see equally because the Paramatma is equal in all beings. It's only because of their karma they have got a high or a low body, a human birth or animal birth. And discriminating like this, we degrade our consciousness. And just like the Paramatma is situated in all beings and he is not affected, if we are in knowledge of the Paramatma and we also realize this, just like the Paramatma is not affected, we should also not get affected seeing that superior and inferior grades of the bodies of the Jiva. By accepting the nature of the material world, the conditioned soul finds himself in many variegated situations. Yet only one who discriminates properly and understands that my opulent feature, the super soul, is situated equally within every living entity, does not allow his wicked mind to degrade him. So same point. Now, in this verse, 30th, Krishna explains how to see that spirit is a non-doer. So that is verse 30. 28, 29 sees everything materially equally to attain liberation, we saw. Now, 30th is speaking about how the soul is the non-doer. Now, 30. प्रकृतेव च कर्माणि क्रियमाणानि सर्वश यः पश्यति तदात्मानम् अकर्तारं स पश्यति. He who sees, यः पश्यति, all activities, सर्वश कर्माणि, being done by matter alone, prakriti eva kriyamanani, and sees the soul as doing nothing, tatha atmanam akartaram, actually sees. Saha pashyati. Where have you come across a very similar verse? Very similar verse. Veer Krish Prabhu has raised his hand. Let us ask others also. Shrishti Gupta Mataji, where have you come across this similar verse?
Hare Krishna, Dandvat Pranam. Prabhuji,
Yes.
I do not recollect.
Prakriti eva kriyamanani. Very famous verse. You must have heard it. Yes,
I'm not able
Tukaram
to
Prabhuji.
recollect.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Is it the
Yes.
28th verse you are referring in the same chapter?
25th. Where is this
28th.
mentioned? Prakriti cha karmani kriyamanani sarvasha.
28th.
28th. No, not in this chapter.
Right. Sorry.
Yes, Sri Lalita Mataji. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. In third chapter 27, Prakrite Kriyamanani Gunai Karmani Sarvasaha. Ahankara
Prakriti
Vimudatma.
kriyamanani gune karmani sarvasha. Ahankar vimudatma kartaham. But here he is akartaram, who sees himself as akarta, because he sees there is a kshetra and kshetragya. And everything what is happening in the transformation, it is in the kshetra. And the kshetra is, under the prakriti. But ahankar vimudatma, he thinks I am the doer. So here it is mentioned the real vision, sapashati. One who sees that all actions are done by Prakriti in the form of body and senses, and who sees that a Jiva, Atmanam, is the doer only by thinking himself the body, but is not actually the doer, actually sues. One who is able to perceive that material nature transformed in the form of body and senses is the sole executor of all functions of material activity, and who sees himself, the soul, to be inactive in this regard, despite engaging in all sorts of activity, he realizes I am not doing anything. Akartaram. Such a person actually sees. Okay. Further, in text 31, Krishna speaks about in 31, see that all material variety originates in spiritual similarity, or from that one spiritual absolute truth it has come, all material variety. So that is spoken in 31. Okay, let's take 31. यदा भूतपृथग्भावम् एकस्तम् अनुपश्यति तत एव च विस्तारं ब्रह्म सम्पदते तदा. When one sees yada anupashyanti, pashyati means to systematically see, drishti, that all separate beings, bhut pratak bhavam, are situated in one prakriti at the time of dissolution. Ekastam, and arise from that prakriti at the time of creation. Tata evacha vistaram, the person becomes Brahman. Brahma sampadate tata. Okay, let's see the commentary, it will become very clear. When one perceives that the various forms of the living beings, moving and non-moving, pratak bhavam, are situated in one prakriti at the time of pralaya. So you can see, when pralaya happens, all the variety goes back into the body of Mahavishnu and the prakriti becomes one. And at the time of creation, the expansion of the living entities from prakriti, he becomes, at the time of creation, they become into variety. So one who can see like this, he becomes Brahman. He becomes Brahman means Brahman would here mean that the Jiva attains qualities similar to the Lord. Bhaktivinoda Thakur repeats the same thing. When a man of true wisdom sees that during annihilation, all moving and non-moving living entities of various shapes are situated in Prakriti alone. And at that time, and that at the time of creation, those varieties again manifest from the same Prakriti, he becomes free from the tendency to differentiate between material designations. So this is a classic example. The classic example is, there is the mud. And from the mud, there is a, pot which is of this shape. Then there is a big pot of this shape, and then there is a cup of this shape. So all this has come from this Prakriti, these different shapes of the living entities. But when all this is broken, destruction happens, they all come to one. This is one. So that seeing that as Brahman, everything is Brahman, So then you don't, you are situated actually in Tada Brahma Sampadate Tada. That's what it means. He then realizes his spiritual identity and his relationship with Brahma, the absolute reality. Now I'll explain how the living entity, having acquired this knowledge of qualitative oneness, perceives Paramatma, who is present as witness. So having understood Brahman, the self, how he will perceive the super self is explained in the next two verses. And these two verses, can refer to it is referring to the Paramatma here. Anaditvan nirgunatvat Paramatmayam avyayam Sharirastopi kaunteya na karoti na lipyate. Because he is the supreme cause, Anaditvat, and everything arises from him, Nirgunatvat. This indestructible Paramatma, Ayam Avyaya Paramatma, though situated in the body, Sharirastha P does not think himself the doer, na karoti, and is not contaminated, na lipati. So let me see now, Prabhupada, how Brahman conception only he takes, but here sees that the imperse soul, Prabhupada takes here the Parama and Atma as beyond material nature, the soul, as not, but not as Paramatma. But so here the word Parama and Atma have been broken, and it has become the Atma which is transcendental, or it can be taken as one Paramatma. That then it can refer to. So how the Atma is not the doer and it is not entangled, that's how Prabhupada takes. But Vishnu Chandra Thakur takes the Paramatma here. So I told you there are different ways you can pack and unpack. Upanishads are very terse. You said that a jiva in contact with the body takes repeated birth. Verse 22. Sadasad yoni janmasu. The jiva, by thinking himself, the body, by being in the body, becomes contaminated by the gunas and takes repeated birth. But the Paramatma does not become contaminated because Paramatma is also situated. Sharirastopi. So Vishwanath Chakravarti from the flow, he is explaining from particular angle, which is also right. Why? He is called Anadi because he has no original cause. But just as Anuttama can mean Parama Uttama, taking the ablative sense of the word, no one higher than him. So Anadi, having no cause, can mean supreme cause, no other cause than him. So the Lord is the supreme cause of everything and there is no cause other than him. So that is the meaning here, Anadi. Therefore, because he is the final cause, Anaditvat, and because the gunas such as creation and destruction arise from him, Nirguna, Nirgata plus Guna, Nirgunatvat. This Paramatma is distinguished from the Jiva. In all circumstances, at all times, in all circumstances, he is without decrease in his own knowledge, bliss, and other qualities. Though situated in the body, because he does not take up the qualities of the body, he does not think he is the doer like the Jiva. Na karoti. He does not become like the enjoyer, nor does he get contaminated by the gunas made of material body, na lipati. So now how does he? Okay, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is there. When the jivas have attained Brahman realization, they can see that Paramatma is imperishable, beginless, and transient. Anaditva, Nirgunatva, and Avaya. Although he exists in the body along with the Jivatma, he does not become affected by the qualities of the body like the conditioned soul does. So the hog's body has the quality of eating tamasic item like stool, so he gets afflicted by the modes. But the Paramatma, he doesn't enjoy, the inferior modes. The Jiva wants to enjoy. The Jivas who have attained the state of Brahman no longer become implicated in material affairs. They take shelter of this knowledge of the qualities of Paramatma and remain untouched, unlike the conditioned souls. Hear from me how the Jiva, who is not implicated in material bodies, uses his body. So, how he uses his body? Next verse explains. Yata sarvagatam saukshmyad akasham nopalipyate sarvatavasta avastito dehe tatatma nopalipyate. Just as ether, yata akasham, which spreads everywhere, sarvagatam, is not contaminated, na upalipyate, because of its subtle nature, saukshmyat, the Paramatma, tata atma, though situated everywhere in the body, sarvatra avastito dehe, is not contaminated, na upalipyate. So, just like Akash is spread everywhere, but because it is subtle, it doesn't get contaminated. Similarly, Paramatma, although is situated everywhere in all the bodies, he is not contaminated. In this verse, the Lord gives the example of the ether. Just as the ether is situated in mud and other places is not contaminated because of its most subtle, not contacting the mud at all, the Paramatma is not connected with the gunas or faults with the material body and therefore is not contaminated. Now, the second example is given. Yata prakashyatya ekah krishnam lokam imam ravi kshetram kshetri tata krishnam prakashayati bharata. Just as one sun, yata eka ravi, lights up prakashate, the whole world, imam krishnam lokam, the entire three worlds are lit. This Paramatma, tata kshetri, illuminates the whole body. Prakashayati krishnam kshetram. Krishna means completely whole, and Kshetram means the body, O descendant of Bharata. Now, these two verses, Prabhupada explains from the soul perspective, how the soul is not entangled and how the soul eliminates, spreads its whole in the entire body as consciousness. But here, these two verses are taken as Paramatma by Vishwanath Thakur. Using the example, the Lord shows how the Paramatma, being the source of illumination, Jyotisham api tat jyoti, it was mentioned, is not connected with the qualities of what he eliminates. Sarva guna indriya abhasam, sarva indriya vivarjitam. It was mentioned, no? He illuminates all the senses, but he is without senses, it is mentioned. So like that, he doesn't take the qualities of what he illuminates. Just as the sun, the illuminator, is not connected with the qualities of what he illuminates, the Paramatma, Kshetri, illumines everything and is not affected. Just like the sun, it can evaporate all the contamination like the urine and absorb it, but he doesn't get affected. So similarly, the Paramatma doesn't get contaminated. The Shruti says, Suryo yata sarvalokasya chakshur na lipete chakshurer bhaya doshe ekastata sarvabhuta antaratma na lipete shoka dukkhena bhaya. Just as sun is the eye of all people, but is not contaminated by the material faults of the eye. So the Paramatma within all beings is not contaminated by the lamentation and suffering of the material world. Okay, now the last verse, the ultimate, the vision, one with this knowledge has developed this vision, and this vision leads to ultimate liberation. Kshetra kshetra gayor evam antaram jnana chakshusha bhuta prakritim moksham cha te viduryanti te param. Those who know ye evam vidur, the difference, antaram, between the two nodes of the field, as well as the difference from the field. The two nodes of the field is kshetra gayo, that is Atma and Paramatma, and the kshetra. And also the process of liberation from Prakriti for the living entities. Bhuta Prakriti Mokshache, attain the supreme goal. Yanti Te Param. So the supreme goal for the Gyanis is liberation. The Lord summarizes the contents of the chapter. Those who know the difference between the two nodes of the field, Kshetra, Gayo, the Jiva and Paramatma, along with the field, and also the method of liberation, Moksha. So liberation is Moksha from Prakriti for the living entities. Bhuta, living entities are or having these bodies, bhuta, such as meditation, achieve the supreme goal. Among the nodes of the field, the jiva enjoying the qualities of the field is bound up, but is also liberated by knowledge. This is the meaning of the chapter. Thus ends the commentaries on the 13th chapter of the Gita for the pleasure of the devotees' minds by the mercy of the Acharyas. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, all activities of the material nature constitute Kshetra. There are two types of Tattva, Paramatma Tattva and Atma Tattva, and both are Kshetragya. According to the process described in this chapter, those who understand the difference between Kshetra and Kshetragya with the eye of spiritual knowledge, which is attained by following the process that delivers all divinities from mundane activities, very easily understands the supreme truth, Sri Bhagavan, who is beyond Kshetra and Kshetragya. So Bhagavan, spelling mistake has happened here. I have no idea where is back. I'm not able to see. Okay. Because the power is gone. I'm just who is beyond Kshetra and Kshetragya. So that ends also Bhaktivinoda Thakur's commentary. So that's how we complete the 13th chapter. So any questions you have? Yes, Sri Lalita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I'm just trying to understand. Jiva is Anadi, no Prabhuji? Jiva is
Yes.
also Anadi. So it
Yes.
has no origin at all.
See, when you say origin,
Okay,
that means it has to come in a particular time, right?
correct.
So is the time functioning in the spiritual world?
No, Krishna is in control of it. No, Prabhuji. He's time, no.
No, but does time function in the spiritual world?
I don't know that, Prabhuji.
Okay. So there is a spiritual time,
Okay.
and the soul is neither created nor destroyed. It
Okay.
does not come into existence, nor it is ever going to come into existence because it is eternal. Something which is
Yeah.
eternal, there's no question of, coming in a particular time, right?
Correct, correct.
That's why we have discussed that the soul is anadi.
But we are part and parcel of, we are originating from Krishna, right, Prabhuji?
Okay.
Everything is emanating from him, no? From his pose,
Yes,
only
yes,
universe coming.
yes,
He's only
yes.
impregnating.
So what happened?
No, no.
What's
So
the
that
question?
is origin is from Krishna, no? But then how can it be
What
no
is
origin?
originating from Krishna?
We are jivas are originating from Krishna, no? No, not like that.
Correct, correct, correct.
Okay. Then how can the soul be we? How can we be anadi? Because we have origin. Our origin is Krishna, no?
No, no. See, that I had explained very clearly. Now, when you say fire,
Yeah.
and because see, the problem is that it is incomprehensible to the material intelligence who are caught up in the material time. Because we
Correct.
are always in the past, present, and future like that. Influence of the
Yeah.
modes. So
Yes, Prabhu.
just understand this simple example. You light a fire,
Hmm.
and then with the fire, there is simultaneous manifestation of heat and light.
Yeah. Yeah.
Correct?
Yes, by
Now,
process. Yeah.
please first try to understand it.
Yeah.
First, please try to carefully understand this. Now, do heat and light have a origin at a particular time?
Not originate is just when you light the fire, it's coming. Heat
Ah.
is coming out
So yeah,
parallel.
so always heat and light is always existing with fire,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
in a material sense, only when there is a manifestation of fire at a particular time, then you see the energies of heat and light.
Yes.
So the Shaktiman Purush is eternally existing.
Yes.
So his Shaktis are also eternally existing.
Yeah. Yes.
Are you getting this point?
Got it. Got it, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Any other questions? Anyone else has? Yes, Bir Krish Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, not Prabhu.
Yes.
So, Prabhu, this verse 32, 33, and 34, this can be applied for soul also, no, Prabhu? Because
Correct. That's how Prabhupada also takes that.
Mhm.
Baldev Vidyabhushan, maybe he is taking like that, so that's why he takes that angle. So that's why I told these Upanishads verses can be unpacked in different ways, and when you unpack from that particular angle, you have to see that entire flow of the verses from that angle. You cannot
Yes.
juxtapose two different explanations.
Mhm.
Okay.
Right. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So tomorrow we'll begin the 14th chapter.